हारे। जय राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ श्री राधे। जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे। जय राधे जय श्री राधे। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भाव तुम्हें। जय जगन्नाथा जय जगन्नाथा बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमाय। जय गौरानिताय 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 जय गौरानिताय। नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौरा हरि बोल। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंसा परविचार्य सूत्र सत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अवे चरण रविंद्र भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की। वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की नवदीप धाम की श्री जगन्नाथ स्वामी की यमुना माई की श्रीमती तुलसी देवी की सामवेद भक्त वृंद की निताई गौर प्रेमानंदी। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada की जय। श्रीला गुरुदेव की जय। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपस्ताय पुतले श्रीमते वीर कृष्ण गोस्वामी नीति नामने नमो हंसा निकाशया प्रभुपदा प्रियायते शुद्धदिनिष्टबेन तस्य वाक्यानुवादिने। Hare Krishna everyone. Welcome to this morning's Sunday feast or Sunday Srimad Bhagavatam class brought to you live from Sydney Temple, North Sydney. Welcome to all our online viewers who are watching us on Mayapur TV on Sydney channel and those of us who are watching us on ISKCON Sydney YouTube. So this morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 4 Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is titled Sati Quits Her Body and we are reading from text 12. So 4.4.12 for Sri Radha Gopinath ki. So for those of you who are reading from Veda base on your phone, you can punch in SB 4.4.12 and you will find that on Veda base. Okay, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nasta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. Okay. दोषान् परेषां हि गुणेषु साधवो गृह्णन्ति केचिन्न भवादृशो द्विजा. गुणंश्च फाल्गुन् बहुलीकरिष्णवो महत्तं मास्तेव विदाद् भवानघम्. दोषान् परेषां हि गुणेषु साधवो गृह्णन्ति केचिन्न भवादृशो द्विजा. केचिन्न भवादृशो द्विजा. गुणांश्च फाल्गुन् बहुलीकर्षिणवो महत्तं मास्तेव विदद् भवानघम्. दोषान् परेषां हि गुणेषु साधवो गृह्णन्ति केचिन्न भवादृशो द्विजा. गुणंश्च फाल्गुन् बहुलीकर्षिणवो महत्तं मास्तेव विदात् भवानघम्. दोषान् परेषां हि गुणेषु साधवो गृह्णन्ति केचिन्न भवादृशो द्विजा. गुणांश्च फाल्गुन् बहुलीकर्षिणवो महत्तं मास्तेव विदात् भवानघम्. दोषान् परेषां हि गुणेषु साधवो गृह्णन्ति केचिन्न भवादृशो द्विजा. गुणंश्च फाल्गुन् बहुलीकरिष्णवो महत्तं मास्तेव विदात् भवानघम्. दोषान् परेषां हि गुणेषु साधवो गृह्णन्ति केचिन्न भवादृशो द्विजा. गुणंश्च फाल्गुन् बहुलीकर्षिणवो विदात् भवानघम्. Ladies. दोषान् परेषां हि गुणेषु साधवो गृह्णन्ति केचिन्न भवादृशो द्विजा. गुणांश्च फाल्गुन् बहुलीकर्षिणवो महत्तं मास्तेव विदात् भवानघम्. Okay. Doshan, faults, parisham, of others. He, for, guneshu, in the qualities. Sadhava, sadhus. Grananti, find. Kechit, some. Na, not. Bhavadrasha, like you. Dvija, O twice born, Gunan, qualities, Cha, end, Falgun, small, Bahuli Karshinavaha, greatly magnifies, Mahat Tamaha, the greatest persons, Teshu, among them, Avitad, find, Bhavan, you, Agham, the fault. So the translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So what we have just recited, we look at the translation of that now. Translation, twice born Daksha. A man like you can simplify, find fault in the qualities of others. Lord Shiva, however, not only finds no faults with others' qualities, but if someone has a little good quality, he magnifies it greatly. Unfortunately, you have found fault with such a great soul. Yes, so it's a really good shlok for us today, finding faults. If somebody who is as great as Lord Shiva, and you know Lord Shiva, how great he is subject to being the object of criticism, because that's what's happening to him here, then what are we? Very insignificant. So from us all the way to Lord Shiva, we have to tolerate someone finding faults or someone criticizing. So let's see the purport, and then let's have a discussion about how Lord Shiva deals with someone who finds faults. And then we can learn from Lord Shiva, because Lord Shiva is a Mahajan, and he is one of the greatest Vaishnavas they ever could be. The best Vaishnav or devotee of Lord Krishna is Srimati Radharani, of course. There is no comparison. But then from there onwards, we look at Lord Shiva for guidance. He is one of the best Vaishnavas. And such a high Vaishnav is being criticized here. And he is not a Jiva Tattva, like we are all Jivas. And Lord Krishna and his expansions are Vishnu Tattvas. So Lord Shiva is in a category by himself. He's neither Jiva soul, nor is he Vishnu Tattva. He is Shiv Tattva. He is an entity all on his own. He has got his own position. And so somebody at such a high level is being criticized and is finding faults. So we'll discuss how he handles it, and maybe we can learn from him. We are only very small, and they are very trying situations that all of us come across, every single one of us, at work, at home, in the temple. So let's see what this story tells us, and we will discuss. So the purport was, King Daksha is addressed here by his daughter. His daughter is none other than Parvati Sati Devi. So King Daksha is addressed here by his daughter Sati as Dvija, twice born. Twice born refers to the higher classes of men, twice born Brahmins. Who's a Brahmin here? Brahmin initiated? No one? There's some. Twice born. But also initiated also, twice born, because we've taken the shelter of a guru. Whatever we were born with, we don't have today. In other words, we have changed our lives. We're born again. Decided to be Lord Krishna's devotees, so twice born. So, refers to higher classes of men, namely the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. In other words, a Dvija is not an ordinary man, but one who has studied the Vedic literature from a spiritual master and can discriminate between good and bad. So that is why we accept a spiritual master like Srila Prabhupada, who can tell us what's good, what's bad, because we don't know. And we need somebody to tell us, just like your father or your mother will tell you, my dear son or daughter, that's wrong, don't do it again. That's right, you can do that. So our spiritual master in our lives guides us as well, tells us that's right, that's wrong. That's where we get our guidance. So it's smart and intelligent to get a good spiritual master. A good spiritual master is one who follows Srila Prabhupada. Because Srila Prabhupada is an expansion of who? Who knows who Srila Prabhupada is? Who's the original spiritual master? You know that answer. Who's the original spiritual master? Lord Nityananda, Lord Balaram, yes. So then when we have a spiritual master, then their potency of Lord Nityananda, Lord Balaram, that's who Srila Prabhupada is. If you didn't know, this is a direct quotation from His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj in one of his classes. He said, Srila Prabhupada has the potency of Lord Balaram. So that's who he is. So we take guidance from such a spiritual master or a follower of someone like him. So, continuing from there. Therefore, it is supposed that he understands logic and philosophy. Sati, Daksha's daughter, put before him sound arguments. There are some highly qualified persons who accept only the good qualities of others. Just as a bee is always interested in the honey, in the flower, and does not consider the thorns and colors, highly qualified persons who are uncommon accept only the good qualities of others, not considering their bad qualities. Whereas the common man can judge what are good qualities and what are bad qualities. That is a sign of a common person. As soon as somebody opens their mouth to criticize somebody, you know the level they're at. Actually, if you want to know measuring stick of a person, as soon as they open their mouth, you can tell what level they're at. So the smart thing to do is don't open your mouth and don't say anything. Actually, don't say anything. Then people won't know what your level is if you want to hide your level. But it's a good idea to always keep silent. Sometimes if that means not answering your phone call, don't answer the phone call. Ask for a text message instead. And say, I'm sorry, I can't talk now. It's better to keep silent than to say something wrong. Or get involved in an argument. It's better like that. So among the uncommonly good souls, there are still gradations. And the best good soul is one who accepts an insignificant asset of a person and magnifies that good quality. Lord Shiva is also called Ashutosh, which refers to one who is satisfied very easily and one who offers to any person the highest level of benediction. For example, one devotee of Lord Shiva, actually Lord Shiva gets into trouble a lot too. So not only is he criticized, he also gets into trouble because he is so kind. He gives benedictions like that. So he gave this benediction to one of his devotees that whatever he touched, whenever he touched someone on the head, the person's head would at once be separated from his trunk, basically explode. Why anybody would want such a benediction? Lord Shiva agreed, you can have this benediction. Although the benediction asked was not very commendable because the devotee wanted to kill his enemy. Lord Shiva considered the devotee's good quality in worshipping and satisfying him and granted the benediction. That's how kind he is. Just imagine. So if you are really fallen soul, go to Lord Shiva and ask him to make you a good soul and ask him to give you love for Krishna. He's got that. He's got that blessing. So, but Sati accused her father, you are just the opposite. Although Lord Shiva has so many good qualities and no bad qualities at all, you have accepted him as a bad and found fault with him because of your accepting his good qualities to be bad. Instead of your becoming the most exalted soul, you have become the most fallen. So here is a daughter telling a father, you are fallen soul, a daughter. Can you do that to your parent? It's very hard to do that. A man becomes the greatest soul by accepting the goodness of others' qualities. But by unnecessarily considering others' good qualities to be bad, you have become the lowest of the fallen souls. So here is a daughter telling her father off. It's an intelligent daughter because she knows who Lord Shiva is. So very quickly, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, I will first of all discuss how Lord Shiva reacted when he was criticized. Because Daksha, his father-in-law, had many opulences, and he was known as the Prajapati, progenitor, and he had a lot of effulgence and he had a lot of opulences, and he got puffed up because he had everything, and he was highly respected. So what he forgot was that his daughter he gave to somebody even on a higher position than himself. And so he expected Lord Shiva to bow down to him as a son would bow down to a father-in-law. And he forgot that Lord Shiva's position is much higher. He's one of the three deities, Brahma, Mahesh, and Vishnu. So because Lord Shiva, he demanded that kind of respect, and well, Lord Shiva, being Lord Shiva, he was just doing his job as a deity. So he didn't, he was being himself. Because of that fault, Daksha criticized him so many times that in the gathering of the yagna, all those present, they were great sages, they were demigods present, and they all heard Daksha's criticism quite openly. Just like I'm speaking on the microphone, he spoke on the microphone to everyone and just basically humiliated Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva, how did he react to this criticism? He kept quiet. He never said a word. He just listened very, very silently, very quietly. In the meantime, however, Lord Shiva has his own devotees and disciples, and Nandi, his bull, he was listening as well, and he could not bear this criticism of his master, of his Lord. So he cursed Daksha right there and then. You have criticized my master, so therefore you are going to get the face of a goat one day. And many other curses he gave. You are going to lose your effulgence, you're going to be a fallen soul, this, that. And so how did Lord Shiva react in the meantime? He still kept quiet, he still kept listening. That is a sign of a very highly qualified Vaishnava who is in full control of his senses. Because Lord Shiva is easily angered, he is easily pleased. But in this instant, the worst of criticisms, he kept quiet, never said a word. In the meantime, the other demigods were listening to these curses, so they counter-cursed. And Brihaspati also cursed. Brihaspati is the guru of all the spiritual master of all the heavenly demigods. He said to Lord Shiva that, all your devotees who are going to be behaving like you with ashes on their body, who dress like half naked or full naked, they're going to be deviated from their path and they're going to be demonic, they're going to be ghosts or goblins, so they counter-cursed Lord Shiva. While these curses were going back and forth, Lord Shiva still kept quiet, never said a word. And then what did he do? He got up quietly and he left. So how many of you can do that? Not me. I'm the first one to raise my hand. If somebody did that to me, I would probably explode. And I told one of my colleagues recently at work, if you do that to me, I will explode. Literally, I said that it's very hard to control yourself. However, you can get there by remembering, great Vaishnavas like Lord Shiva. And the best way to do it is actually to be a Vaishnav. No other way. There are so many devotees of Lord Krishna, they are Vaishnavas, they have received curses, and they have put their palms together and said, okay, we agree. One of them is Chitraketu. Chitraketu was a king. He had 10 million wives. 10 million wives, and they were all barren. None of them could produce any children. That was a very funny coincidence. It's true. None of them could. Although Chitraketu could father children. he was okay, but his 10 million wives weren't. Anyway, he did austerities. Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, please give me a son. Finally, he got the benediction from Lord Vishnu. He got a son. However, the other, one woman could only produce the son. The rest of the, however many millions of wives there were, they all got really jealous. And they got together, poisoned the son, killed the son. So Chitraketu, again, without any children, he was lamenting. And because of that, Lord Vishnu had to come, Narad Muni had to come, console him, preach to him, turn him into a nice Vaishnava, gave him tolerance. He became a very good Vaishnava after that. And he got this boon, you can, go and enjoy. So he enjoyed with his 10 million wives in a big plane he was given. So he was taking the plane over Kailash, where Lord Shiva was sitting with his dear wife, Parvati. Again, another criticism is coming Lord Shiva's way. Because there were all these exalted personalities, sages, rishis, they were sitting in front of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva was sitting here on the asan, and guess what? Who he had on his thigh? His wife. And he was, holding her in very romantic way in front of all the rishis. And so Chitraketu, who was flying by his plane, he said, how can you do that? So he criticized Lord Shiva. You can't do that in front of exalted personalities and things like that. So in the meantime, Parvati, being a lady, ladies are not very good at holding their tempers, by the way. So she lost her temper on him and said, I will curse you. You will take birth within demons. But Chitraketu, being a Vaishnava, because he was preached to by Lord Vishnu himself and Narad Muni, he put his palms together and said, thank you, mother. I will accept that curse. Whatever will be, will be. So he took birth as Vritrasur in the next life. Actually, Indra was, Lord Indra, demigod, he was at fault. He had killed a Brahmin, and the Brahman's father decided to do a yagna for revenge. Tusta was his name, the father's name. So Twasta did a yagna and produced this huge demon to kill Indra. Vritrasur, he was Chitraketu in his previous life. So Vritrasur came, and but something went wrong in the yagna mantra. And instead of saying that there will be millions of enemies for Lord Indra, he said something like, Lord Indra will be the enemy of this person who's coming out of the yagna. So Lord Indra was naturally an enemy, whereas Vritrasur was a Vaishnav demon. If you ever come across a Vaishnav demon, he was a Vaishnav demon. Actually, many of us are Vaishnav demons. Do you know why? Because we can't control our senses, or we can't control our anger, we can't control our criticism. So we still pretend to be Vaishnavas and devotees. We have demons inside us. So there are many Vritrasurs amongst us. That's a joke. But yeah, if you look at yourself seriously, none of us have mastered the art of being a pure devotee yet. So Srila Rupa Goswami lists 26 qualities of a good Vaishnava. And I was reading that, and I don't think I have many of those qualities yet. We are all work in progress, by the way. So not to criticize yourself, not to criticize myself, we are all work in progress. So we'll get there one day. Keep chanting, you'll get there. So Vritrasur also was a Vaishnav demon. So Indra couldn't kill him because of that. Tried. Lord Indra tried many times. Finally gave up, went to Lord Shiva. How do I kill this demon? Lord Shiva said, oh, there's another Vaishnav called Dadichi. And I think he also got some consultation with Lord Vishnu there as well. Dadichi is there. His bones are so strong. If you make a weapon out of his bones, then you'll be able to kill Vritrasur. So what did they do? They went to Dadichi and said, we require your bones. In other words, can you please die for us? And Dadichi, what did he do? Another Vaishnava of Lord Krishna, another devotee. He said yes. He had a play around first. He said, what do you want it for? Why? This and that. He played a little bit, but then he said yes, agreed. He left his body, Dadichi, and gave his bones. And that's where Indra's Vajra, if you've heard of that weapon, came about. Then he went and killed Vritrasur. While Vritrasur was dying, he was praising Lord Krishna in the battle. That's how he died. So those are some Vaishnava attitudes on criticism. Lord Shiva is an example. Vritrasur is another example. Now let us look at how Krishna deals with criticisms. Now Krishna is in another category. He is not a Vaishnava as such. He is God. He doesn't have to keep silent. He is the giver of justice. He is the giver of punishments. He is actually Yamaraj himself. So Lord Krishna, how does he deal with criticism? I will give you an example. Okay, so Radharani's father is known as Vrishabhanu, right? So in Chaitanya Leela, Vrishabhanu came as who? Who knows? Who was Vrishabhanu in Chaitanya Leela? Starts with yes? Correct. He came as Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And he was Radharani's father. And Gadadhar Pandit was Radharani's incarnation. So he ended up giving initiation, by the way, to Gadadhar Pandit, his own daughter. So what did he do? Well, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, once he saw in Jagannath Puri, the priests were putting, it was the first day of winter, so the priests of Jagannath, they were clothing him, dressing him, but the clothes had starch in it, very heavy starch, and they just dressed him like that. They didn't wash. So Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he had some demons inside him at that time he was battling with to criticize someone. And so that night he went with Swarup Damodar, had a good discussion. These priests, they don't know what they're doing. How can they do this to Jagannath? They put these starchy clothes on him, it will scratch Jagannath. It's not a good practice. Who has made this tradition? All those criticisms, he voiced it out verbally, and Swarup Damodar was listening and he said, no, it's fine. He was trying to tone it down, cool down, cool it, take it easy, take a chill pill. Nothing's wrong, everything's all good. But Pundarik Vidyanidhi didn't let go of the issue, kept criticizing, finding fault. So that night Pundarik Vidyanidhi slept, fell asleep. Guess what happened? This is how Krishna deals with false people who are criticizing Vaishnavas. Krishna in the form of Jagannath, obviously, and Balaram is Baladev, both of them, Jagannath and Baladev, they came in Pundarik Vidyanidhi's dream. By the way, Jagannath used to call Pundarik Vidyanidhi father. So he came to his father's dream. He was dreaming, and in that dream, both of them were smiling, Jagannath and Baladev, and they slapped his face left, right, and center. They slapped Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And then they said, then Jagannath said, these are my devotees, and I like it like that. Let them put starched, clothes on me because I like it like that. My devotees, actually, Puri devotees are not, their practices are not like the Hare Krishna devotees at all. So you will go there, you'll find the differences. But never ever criticize them, please, otherwise you'll get slapped. So Pundarik Vidyanidhi in the morning woke up and guess what? His face was so swollen. He really was slapped. Imagine, Jagannath came and slapped him to correct him. Because Krishna does not tolerate Vaishnavas being criticized. That's the whole point. He does not tolerate. So then Swarup Damodar, who had a practice of coming every morning to see Pundarik Vidyanidhi and say good morning, he came to say good morning, and guess what? He saw Pundarik Vidyanidhi's face swollen. He said, what on earth happened to you? He said, well, last night in my dream I got slapped by Jagannath and Baladev. And instead of, what did Swarup Damodar do? He didn't even criticize Jagannath. He said, wow, what a blessing. You got slapped by Jagannath. Jagannath actually touched you. Imagine if Jagannath, who wants to be slapped by Jagannath? All of us, me too. Actually, me too. Although I don't want to commit any Vaishnava aparadh by criticizing anyone, but it is a great blessing. So he had a happy ending. Now the other one this is Krishna's father-in-law, by the way, but he didn't even leave his mother, Sachi Mata, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mother, Sachi Mata. She also criticized somebody. Can you believe it? Now she's Yashoda Mai's incarnation. She was very attached to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, her son. And she had an issue with Advaita Acharya. Because Advaita Acharya had preached to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, got him to leave, home and become a sannyasi, all those things. So in her mind, she never said anything. But in her mind, mentally, she criticized Advaita Acharya Prabhu for taking her son away because her son's beloved to her. So, in her mind. So, as it happened one day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting on the throne. You know, our deities here, they have a bed. They're small. We put them to sleep. But in this case, there's a Vishnu bed there as well. Was it at Srivas Thakur's house, I think. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting on that bed. I'm not quite sure of the dimensions and the size, but he was sitting on that as a throne. And he was displaying all his forms for 21 hours. Various forms, Varaha, Narsimha, and everybody was coming to get, for that particular time, specialized, special category devotees were getting the darshan, not everybody. So, obviously, Sachi Mata, his mother, would fall in that category, right? I would think so, but wrong, no. Someone mentioned Sachi Mata and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, she's not getting any darshan, she's not getting any love of Krishna because she has offended she has committed Vaishnava Aparadha, offended someone. Who did she offend? Advaita Acharya. So Sachi Mata came to know and she quickly went to Advaita Acharya. So now comes the solution. If you have committed Vaishnava Aparadha, knowingly, unknowingly, what should you do? What did Sachi Mata do? What should you do? So Sachi Mata went to Advaita Acharya and apologized. But after even apologizing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was still not pleased. So if you have committed an offense, you go and apologize, that might not do it. It depends on Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not pleased with that. So when Advaita Acharya was listening to Sachi Mata, he got so much, respect for Sachi Mata. He said, you actually gave birth to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord was in your womb. And he started glorifying Sachi Mata so much, and he started glorifying the Lord so much that he fell into ecstasy just talking about. And because of that ecstasy, he swooned and he fainted. And that's when Sachi Mata thought, okay, this is my chance. Let me get the dust of his feet. So she quickly, without him, Advaita Acharya knowing, got the dust of his feet, put on her head. That's when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was pleased. So that's what we should do, or somebody who has committed a aparadha, go and apologize and try to take the dust of their feet. Although if somebody offended me, I think I'm a devotee, I'm trying to be one, I don't think I've got the dust for you from my feet. I'm not sure. So my answer would be go to Krishna, beg for his mercy. If you really want somebody's dust, go to my spiritual master, get the dust of his, Nike shoes or whatever shoes he's wearing, get it from there. But seriously speaking, that was a joke. But we do need to apologize, and sincerely and humbly, and then things will be rectified. Now, in order to humbly and sincerely apologize, that's a thing as well. A lot of us can apologize. It takes 2 seconds, I'm sorry. But do you really mean it humbly? The answer is no. So how do you mean it? How do you mean it? Any answers, by the way? I've been talking a lot. How do you actually come to that level where you can sincerely apologize to someone? Any answer is fine. Yes, that's a good one. My guru said that in his class. Render some service. That's a good one. Any others? Yes, that's what we got in the book today. Parvati Devi was telling her father, focus on the good qualities. Forget about the bad qualities. Although it can be really difficult. Some bad qualities of some people are really, really bad. Very hard. But focus on the good qualities. Any other answers? Yes, Prabhu. That's another good one. That is a very good one. Actually, that was part of the class which I wanted to cover, is try to look at yourself as well. Try to look at yourself and try to rectify your behavior, your thinking. Try to find fault in yourself. Try to change. That's what a Vaishnav does. It's a quality of a Vaishnav. It's a quality of a devotee. It's try to look within yourself and try to correct yourself. That's also a very difficult one to do. Finally, I will give you my own personal answer is chant and try to purify your heart as much as possible. With the purity, your thinking will change. Chanting is a tricky question. How is that going to work? The way to understand this is, first of all, everybody's going around asking, where is Krishna for Kali Yuga, right? They say, oh, he's going to come as Kalki at the end of this Yuga. But he's already come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But where is he now? Well, he is in the deity, okay. But still, he's not talking to us. He's not a person. Where is he? Actually, did you know Krishna is already here in this Yuga? Did you know? He is present right now. How is he present? Not just in the deity form. He's actually taken an avatar right now. Any guesses? Which avatar that I'm talking about? Not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not deities, not Krishna. There's another avatar right now. His holy name, yes. He has taken a Nama avatar. So, whether you believe it or not, when you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, there's Krishna. He said that he will be present in sound. He's God, he can take any form he wants because he's God. He can be water, he can be fire, he can be sound. And so he is here right now. And that's why we try to get many people to chant as much as possible, because that's where Krishna is. So once you chant and you hear the sound vibration, Krishna's, all his qualities are present, including the purification point that we are talking about, to get in your heart. Through the ears, through your heart. And you get purified, you come to the level where you can apologize sincerely, where you can render service to someone sincerely. You can look within yourself and you can correct yourself because you have the purity to do it. You have the potency, the power, the empowerment to do it. So that's why we try to get people to chant as much as possible. As much as possible. It is the cure for everything. It's a Namatar. Krishna is present right now. All you have to do is just call him. There is no need to do any tirath. There is no need to pay anybody any bribe. Nothing. It's really easy. And he made it easy because in Kali Yuga everybody is nonsense actually. Fallen souls. We are all stupid. Because all the practices have gone, long gone. Kali Yuga everything has eroded. So he was really kind and he gave us that name. So this is some of the ways in which we can learn about finding faults, how to deal with it, how does Krishna deal with it, how should you deal with it, what is the solution. This is really it. And once we do that, guess what? We will have less chaos in this world, but we will have less chaos in the temple within devotees, actually, if we don't criticize each other. And if somebody does criticize, do what Lord Shiva does, keep quiet. Don't say anything. Try not to say anything. But that doesn't mean you cannot defend yourself. You can, just what Lord Shiva did, he left. Don't leave your service, please, because in service lies, purification. So whatever service you are doing to Lord Krishna, you continue. If you cannot do that service particularly, do another service. Like for example, we chant under the trees for a little while because we had some noise control issues. We still chanted under the tree. Prabhupada chanted under a tree, so we chanted under a tree. Why not? We still do the service, just another form. So that will conclude our class for today. Anyone has any comments or questions? Wow, no comments, no questions. Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. So the question is, are there any examples of any Vaishyas who have received Diksha or knowledge, spiritual advancement from a spiritual master? The answer is yes. And the example of that is, there was one for Haridas Thakur. They were trying to, this is in Chaitanya Charamrita, they were trying to get him to stop chanting. I think it was the Muslims. I still have to do some research on that. I'm not an expert on Chaitanya Charamrita. However, I do know they hired a prostitute for to bring down Haridas Thakur. And what he did was, Haridas Thakur is our Namacharya, by the way. He just told the prostitute, okay, I will chant, you sit and listen and wait. I will, satisfy you, whatever your desires are, another day, and another day, and another day. Kept on doing that until she got purified, and then he initiated her. So that's one example. Now another one in Lord Krishna's pastime is Kubja. Kubja was Supanekha in the Ramayana. She had some lusty feelings towards Lord Ram. So she got reborn as Kubja when Lord Krishna came. And she still was having those lusty feelings to Lord Krishna. So she was sort of in a Vaishya category sort of thing. And Krishna gave her the benediction of becoming a devotee. He went to her vows, by the way. He told Lord Balaram, I have an appointment with Kubja for, whatever she called me for. So once he went there, and as soon as Kubja touched Lord Krishna's feet, she actually got his feet on her chest. She completely converted, same time. There are many. There's Bilva Mangal Thakur. Bilva Mangal Thakur was very attached to this woman, and he loved her eyes and everything. And she said, she became his spiritual master. If you look at Lord Krishna's eyes and are attached to the God, the Lord, as much as you are attached to me, imagine where you will be. And that's when he turned around, Bilva Mangal Thakur. And he became one of the best devotees of Krishna. And he got his instruction from the woman that he was attached to. So there are many at the moment. That's all I can think of right now. But there are many. Vaishyas are actually those who are merchants as well, who can deal with buying and selling. So businessmen or business ladies. So and Krishna was sometimes categorized as Vaishya because he was tending cows and selling milk. So he was told that he was. But they are, yes, definitely. Any other questions or comments? Okay, so that concludes the class for this morning. Thank you for attending. Srimad Bhagavatam Puran ki. Srila Gurudev ki jai.